starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey guys, Cotton Grammar here, simulation webinar. We got a matinee version, one that starts at 5 o'clock Eastern Central. People still piling in. We got about a couple hundred people. I figure more people is going to go in. But guys, we're going to keep this webinar short and tight tonight. There's not going to be a 3-hour webinar. I doubt it's even going to go 2 hours. But I can tell you that it's going to be action-packed. That's what I can tell you. And guys, we're loaded down with special guests tonight. First, my partner that's always with me on all these assimilation webinars, Derek, how you doing, buddy?
Great, Con. How are you?
Always good.
How's New York?
New York was actually cold and rainy. Cold and rainy. It was. I mean, you might have been used to it being in Canada, but Florida was at 90 degrees and then going to 50 degrees and raining. It was a shock to the system.
It's Tuke weather here already at nighttime, so.
Wow, it's crazy. And we have our special guest of the evening, Stephen Floyd. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy. I'm great. How are you?
Sounds fantastic. I've got a sneak peek at your stuff. Think some people's going to be blowing their wigs off with what you got to show us.
Yeah, I think so too. I think a couple people are going to be kind of like doing the whole forehead smash, kind of going, oh!
Exactly.
Looking forward to it.
Exactly. Then we have extra special secret special guest who's riding shotgun with us tonight. What's up, Mike? We got Mike Pierce with us.
Hey, how are you, Cotton? I heard about a money bomb, and I've been bugging Derek about it all week, so I had to come figure out what that was.
Absolutely. And guys, while we have introduced Mike and everyone else, please, we're going to do a very quick questions and answers tonight. So if you got questions, guys, load them up quickly. If we don't see enough questions, we're going to move right on into the lesson. So if there's something that you want to ask us, do so quickly, because I don't see at least 10 questions there. I'm just going to cut it loose to Steven, and we're going to go right into the content.
Hey, Cotton.
Sure.
Hey, buddy. Real quick before you go, guys, just a quick heads up. There's a new update that's rolling out. That's been rolling out for about a week now. That's coming through. That's targeting spam as usual. So if you're on this webinar and you start seeing some de-indexing of some of your crap sites, that's probably what's going on. So I just wanted to throw that out there just to head it out. They're saying it's going to impact about 5% of searches, which is pretty massive. 5% might not sound like a lot, but that's bigger than Panda or Penguin normally. So if you've got, if you're not doing what we're teaching you and, you're building out these crappy sites and bulk sites and stuff, and you start getting hit, before you start freaking out and looking at hosting and all this other stuff, just realize that there's some stuff going. Also realize that if you get hit, it doesn't mean that you're not going to come back, so don't freak out. You may lose some spaces and come back. You may get de-indexed and come back. That's just part of the game. So anyway, I didn't want to forget that, so that's why I wanted to throw it out first.
Sure. While we're waiting for a few more questions to roll in, guys, we'll just briefly recap Assimilation New York. It was one of our largest events that we held. We are second largest, or tied with the second largest one. Great turnout. You might be wondering, because that was our last Assimilation Tour of 2015. Will there be more? And the answer is yes. I already have the first Assimilation date of 2016 set, and that will be revealed after the holidays of this year. But what I want to focus on for just a second, guys, is OMG Live. That's the next big event that's coming up. It's happening in less than 60 days. And guys, it's going to be mind-bending. We have added speakers. We have added dates. Guys, the main event is sold out. But I'm going to tell you what. The second leg of OMG Live, we've got two of the guys that are going to man it down on with us right now. And Derek, if you and Mike could just take a few moments right now, could you just kind of whet people's appetite of what crazy stuff you guys are going to be going over that they probably never seen or will never see ever again?
Well, there's going to be some of the basic stuff to cover in part of the first day, but like covering anchor text and what we call flip-flopping from properties and tiers, and from there we're actually going to start digging into a lot more advanced stuff, and like how to use pressure points and properties, and I don't even know if I want to say a whole bunch. Mike, how much do you want to say?
I think the surprise is great. We're going to go into certain things that take no time at all, but can increase your revenue and increase your client's revenue just by doing a simple 5-minute tech fix and just pretty stuff that you learn over 14, 15 years of doing this that just takes time to learn, and we're going to share that stuff.
Great. Guys, I know that I've seen a couple of the techniques that Mike's talking about. It's just mind-blowing. This is the sort of stuff that you really don't get taught anywhere unless you're going to get personal coaching from these guys. Some things have to be held very, very close to the chest. It's not meant for everyone. And I think that twisting these guys' arms to even get them in an environment to where everyone has to sign non-disclosures, there's no recording devices, and it's very, very private and very intimate, was even difficult to twist their arm to get them to do that, to reveal how they get in and make all of their money. So, guys, if you haven't had a chance to jump on, do so. Because next week, I'm telling you, I think the last time I checked, we had maybe 30 seats left. And when we start doing the tick down on how many seats there are, gets to be a scramble. So if you were unable to make it to the main one, I think you're crazy not to go to the second one, especially if you've already got some SEO experience under your belt. These two guys are amazing. And if you miss it, you're going to beat yourself up over it because you're going to hear whispers about it for the next 12 months. And you're not going to be able to know. You're going to be left out on the outside of the information. So next week, guys, is going to be our big OMG Live 2 webinar. We're really going to go in a little bit deeper with these guys. And they're going to show off a little bit, some giveaway stuff next week leading up into OMG Live 2. So that's what we'll do next week. Right now, we've already talked enough about everything. We'll jump into a few questions and see what we got from here, and then we'll let Steven take it away with a pretty mind-blowing lesson that he's got prepared. It says, I'm working out of my home, so is it imperative that I have citations when first starting out? Steven, what do you say?
So I'm assuming he's trying to rank his own business.
Yes.
Yeah, to me, yes. To me, it is imperative. The fact that you're gonna be doing a service area instead of having a map pin basically doesn't make any difference. If you really want to do local, if you want to get into the local organic, the citations are still going to be important as long as you're a local business. You have to. That's just 101. So yes, go ahead and get them. The fact that you're obscuring your address really doesn't change that.
Great. Stephen, a question specifically for you. It says, do you have any local clients that make money off of videos that only rank on YouTube and Google results for local terms?
I do not.
I do not either. Do any of you guys?
No.
No, not really.
So the answer would be no. Let me try to find some more here. It says, I have a client that has 9,000 links from a random site called PinBud. All links to their homepage. Seems sketchy. Is this an automatic disavow? Anyone want to take that?
Not automatically disavow. I mean, you have to check to see. It's probably a site-wide link. So if it's branded and the trust flow on that site's pretty good, you're going to be safe usually. So it's only if you can knock down your trust flow quite a lot if the metrics on that site are just garbage. So you got to check into that. But there's nothing wrong with having a site-wide link that's going to have trust flow on it.
I think that's a directory, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what. It's just a scraper. It's a scrape directory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
a scrape
it's a
directory.
scrape
I don't think it's going to help you or hurt you.
Yeah, it's got decent trust flow
Yeah.
on it, too, so it's not going to be a big issue, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you follow there, Mike, too?
I think it is. I don't remember. I think it's in the 40s or 50s for
Yeah.
trust.
Cool.
Yeah, a lot of times this might be no follow to a lot of scrapers, but sometimes there are scrapers that you just automatically disavow because they're just horrible links. But
Great. Next question is, are we going to be posting in the OMG way tonight? Guys, we're going to do something totally different. We're not going to post anywhere. How's that? No hashtags tonight. Yeah. Oh, my God. We're going to make people think we didn't even have a webinar to give you some mind-blowing information. So
Hey, that pin bud looks like no follow links, at least on the homepage. I mean, I'm sorry, follow links at least on the homepage.
Follow, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it ain't hurting you, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any one of you guys, do image-based links factor into your overall link profile, or do they just count as a naked URL?
Depends on
Juice.
Yeah, I mean, depends on if you used alt text
Yeah,
or not.
it's juice. Yeah, the alt text is your anchor basically. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using alt text, then it's going to count towards your anchor balance. If the alt text is blank or if it's naked or whatever, then it's going to be naked or whatever. But yeah, I love image links personally. I use image links a lot, and a lot of my image links have the name image 1, image 2, and then of course we don't really do a lot of metadata in here. We probably will soon, but anyway, yeah, I mean at least the alt text, and maybe some latitude and longitude.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. We'll move on. How good do you think the Majestic calculation of trust flow is compared to how Googly actually views it? What are the holes in its process?
Well, there are holes in it. Like they don't count no follow properties from certain properties. Like I think Wikipedia passes trust flow, but Majestic, etc., doesn't pass it in there. Other than that, a lot of times it's just errors and stuff like that. There's always things like 403 errors when they're not. But the calculation, like we have no idea how Google actually views anything, right? So I think it's a pretty good guess as far as you can go, really.
Yeah, the way they calculate it, they're probably missing stuff, but the way they calculate it is similar to the way Google's going to be calculating the strength of what's linking into what's linking into you. But.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and when we look at any metric like that, I mean, we can evaluate it pretty fast by, if it calls if we look at sites that we know are high quality, we know they're sites that Google's going to favor and they score well on whatever metric that it is, versus sites that we know to be poor quality or low quality, scoring low, then we can say that there's some bit of validity at least, and consistency to the metric. But all of us on here. We don't tie a whole lot of weight to any single metric. It's really an overall evaluation. So I think everybody here would probably agree. I guess at least for this week, trust flow is probably one of the top ones that we're going to look at, though. If we had a gun to our head and said we could just look at one, probably. That metric is probably one of the ones we're going to choose.
They update quickly and they do a good job of calculation. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing I like a lot about that actually is I don't really I think that I wish their database was a little bit bigger, but I do like the fact that I don't have to wait for a schedule like I do with Moz.
Exactly.
Back 3 months later.
Yeah, and I mean seriously, if you've ever looked at mass links that are not manipulated, and that's a key here. If you look at mass links that are not manipulated, let's say domains, and let's replace domains with links. The ones that have good trust flow and a good ratio to content flow, those are good. I mean citation flow, those are good sites, right? You can look at them and tell that certain sites are high quality good sites that should score well, and those sites generally a few outliers aside, generally trust flow is a fairly good reliable metric. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Great. Next question is, I had a page on a site go from 5 to 3 to 1, and on September 21st, gone. Not even in Google, but on page 1 in Yahoo and Bing. He wants to know if there's any ideas.
Well, Yahoo and Bing tend to like to spam quite a bit, so I might look into your link profile.
Yep.
Yeah. It's usually
Plus,
over-optimized.
Yeah, plus I need more information.
Yeah,
it's too hard to tell.
Yahoo responds well to like 100% anchor text and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't try to spend a whole lot of time on a correlation between a Google ranking and a Yahoo or Bing ranking. That's just, yeah.
They don't correlate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just not need more information. So Scott, if if you want to, do a post in the Facebook group, the main one, and put some more information in there, like, were you building links? If so, what type, and things like that, then I'm sure that we could dig a little bit deeper for you.
Mm-hmm. Great. And the next question is about disavowing. It says, if I disavow links to a site, do you think this reduces the effects of those links on DA in Google's eyes?
Theoretically?
Technically, no, it shouldn't, because it's literally all it's doing is no following it, and no follow still build PA and DA, so it should be fine. I think there's still a little bit more boost out of it than a typical no follow link, but
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
And it says, no hashtags. Cotton, are you feeling okay? Yeah, I'm feeling okay. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing is I found out that there was some, that there's an Amazon webinar that started an hour ago. So we're going to make sure that you choose assimilation or you pay. That's just how I roll. Sorry. So we're going to get to the information actually right now. We're done with Q&A, and we're going to get to the lesson, and we're going to get over it. And all those people that thought they were going to get on an Amazon webinar and jump over to assimilation, not happening. So I guess whoever's scheduling the Amazon webinars should never try to overlap it with an assimilation. So that's just how I roll, people. So if you want to do a hashtag, do hashtag that's how I roll. So that's just what I've got to say. So, Steven?
Yes, sir.
We're done with questions, buddy.
Let's do this thing.
We're jumping right into the lesson, and we're taking this to be a tight, precise, mind-blowing webinar. And all these people are going to be left holding their mouses in their hand, wanting to know what the hell happened, trying to double dip.
Oh man, it would be really bad if there was no replay. I hope that record button is hit.
Exactly.
That'd be too bad. All right, I'm gonna grab the screen if it's cool.
Grab it, my friend. It's all yours.
All right, ladies and gentlemen and others, give me a 1 if you can see what's on my screen. Give me a 1 if you can see what's on my screen. Give me a 2 if you can't. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, we got lots of 1s. All right, listen, guys. So, like Cotton said, this is going to be kind of fast and quick. So, what I'm going to go over tonight, some of you are going to be like, "Wow, really? Is that really what we're going to do?" But I would caution you from judging too quickly, because what I'm going to go over tonight is cPanel, which to a lot of you, again, you're probably thinking, wow, why are we doing cPanel on an assimilation webinar? Well, hopefully after the next 20 or 30 minutes go by, you'll understand the answer to that question. So I'm going to start off with a couple of basics here real fast. Every one of you who has a domain and has a hosting account, I shouldn't say all of you, more than 99% of you, on the back end of your hosting account, you have a control panel, and it's aptly named cPanel. And the way that you will get to cPanel is by typing in your domain /cPanel. And you will get to a wonderful login screen like this. All right? So, guys, if you already knew how to get to cPanel, give me a 1. If you didn't, give me a 2. And I'm just going to go through these really, really fast. All right, good. So it looks like most of us already knew that. Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to start, but before I want to tell you that the cPanel that you see may not be the exact same cPanel that you're looking at on the screen. And the reason is because there are several different versions, and it depends on your host, and it depends on what type of hosting you have. So you may or may not have exactly what I have, but you will have probably 90% or more of the same features as what I'm going to show you tonight. All right? So if you don't have exactly what we have here, don't freak out. Don't think there's anything wrong with you or with your hosting. It probably simply means that your version of cPanel is just a little bit different. All right? So what I'm going to show you tonight, the reason why I wanted to go into cPanel is because this is a method that I like to call shopping in your own closet. And why do I call it shopping in your own closet? Well, what that means is it means that you're going to be using resources that you already have and you either don't know about or you have forgotten about. Okay, so I am going to just go through these again kind of fast, and we'll probably do some Q&A, maybe a little bit toward the end. Okay, so again, if this seems kind of lightning fast here, just bear with me. Okay, this is going to be recorded, and again, this is something that you can ask about in the groups later. All right, so in no particular order, I'm going to show you a couple of things. So the first thing that I want to start off with this evening is, well, first let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys understand the impact that having chat on your website has on conversions? Give me a 1 if you have an idea that having a live chat on your website is extremely good for conversions. Okay, give me a 2 if you don't know, or a 3 if you don't care. Okay, so let me go ahead and tell you, having live chat on your website is one of the best things that you can do as far as conversions. Okay, and don't trust me on that, go Google it. Okay, and so there are lots of solutions available for you if you'd like chat programs. There are probably 3 or 4 dozen that are fairly good, and the average price of those is anywhere from $20 to $100 a month or more. All right, but when you factor in the value of what it does for your conversions, spending $10 or $20 or $30, even $50 a month is kind of a no-brainer. All right, guys, so give me a 3 if you get that. Give me a 3 if you get that spending 20 or 30 bucks a month is cool, if you're making hundreds or thousands. Okay? All right. So the first thing that I want to introduce you to tonight is my little friend, and it's called Live Helper. Okay? And Live Helper is something that is free inside of cPanel, and guess what it is? It is live chat that can be put on your website just like all the ones that you pay for, and it's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you 1 penny. This is what it will look like, just like I'm sure you guys have all been to chats. It looks just, they look very similar to this. You have a widget on your website that you place wherever you would like to place it, and the little box pops up and says, if you'd like to have a chat, here you go. Here's the administrative side. And if somebody, I tell you what, if somebody wants to jump on here and ask me a question, and that is the URL right here, and I'll just paste it right in there. And if somebody wants to jump in real fast, then I can show you exactly what this looks like. Let's see, it looks like I have one. All right, well, I'm not sure if that's me or someone else, but let me look here real fast. All right. All right, well, it looks like they left on me. But anyway, so you'll get an idea what this looks like. You see this? So this is, the administrative side, okay? Well, there's a bunch of you now. Oh, Carol, let me talk to you, Carol. All right. Can you customize the image? All right. So you guys are asking actual questions. And hold on a second. Okay. All right. All right, let's see here. Can we see that gore.jpg image? Hey, Ryan. All right, and so guys, again, so what you see here is a fully functional chat, right? That's just like the ones that you pay for, okay? So 2 things already in this webinar. I've talked to you about using live chat, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's number 1. If you logged off right now and we're done, then I've earned my money for tonight, okay? If you have clients, and of course it has to make sense. It doesn't always make sense to have a live chat. Not all, sites will benefit from that, okay? But especially any kind of an e-commerce site or a product site, it's absolutely fantastic, okay? And again, this is simple to configure. This is 5 minutes, and I'll show you later how to do it. It's 5 minutes, and this has all the same features as all the ones that you would pay, again, anywhere from $10 to hundreds of dollars a month for. All right? So guys, if that was pretty cool, go ahead and give me a 1. If you're like, you know what, yeah, whatever, I already knew that, or it's not really that cool, give me a 2. because I'm just going to kind of gauge how everybody is to kind of go forward. All right, so looks like we got pretty much nothing but ones. All right, good. All right, so again, I'm going to go through this stuff kind of quick, but we can do stuff. And by the way, this is like got everything all the other stuff does, guys. It's got mobile, like chat. It's got everything, okay? This isn't, don't think of like you use this and it's free so it doesn't work or it sucks, whatever. It does. It doesn't suck. It's cool. I have this on a couple of client sites. I actually use it. It's awesome. Yes, it sends you the chat log at the end, right? Just like all the big ones do, okay? So, all right, I'm going to move on to the next thing. All right, guys. All right, so thing number 2 I want to show you. So, how many of you guys use? Give me a 1 if you use Dropbox or any type of cloud storage, and give me a 2 if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say Dropbox or cloud storage. Okay. All right. So it looks like a bunch of 1s. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close these selectively as we go through, and hopefully not close one I haven't done yet. So what I'd like to introduce you to today is Own Cloud. Own Cloud. So in the chat box, do me a favor, give me a guess what you think this is. Give me your guess on what you think this is. Making sandwiches? Nope. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here to Own Cloud. And guess what? Ooh, OMG secret files. Wow, that looks pretty good. Wow, I definitely need to share that. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Share Link, and there's my link. If I want to password protect it, if I want to set an expiration date. Does this look similar to anything else? Guys, give me a 1 if this looks similar to anything else. Right. This is basically Dropbox. Okay, now, with Dropbox is awesome, but you have limits, right? You have file size limits, right? Unless you want to pay more, right? Go ahead and give me a 2 if you want to. Actually, I take that back. Write in the chat box what you think the limit is on this file sharing, right from your own site. Tell me how much you think it is. Yep. Exactly. The answer is, with most hosting accounts, it's unlimited. Okay? So as you see here, this is absolutely just as easy as Dropbox. It works the exact same way, right? But you don't have to worry about Dropbox getting hacked or any of that other crap, right? You can do it right here from your own site. Okay? So, if you have been, messing around with all these different cloud storage things and you have a single frickin' cPanel, stop. You can host all your stuff from here. Okay? And I'm going to show you where all this is later. This one is called Own Cloud, OWN Cloud. But I'm going to show you how to install all these later. And by the way, in case this is your first webinar with me, this LindemannRC.com is one of my test sites. If you want to negative SEO it, be my guest. If you want to try to hack it or spam it or do whatever the hell you want, be my guest. It's a test site. It's de-indexed right now. I de-indexed it intentionally. So yeah, it always amazes me, Cotton. After I do one of these webinars, not in here necessarily, but just in general, when I show this, I always start getting like negative SEO.
It's crazy.
This fucking site, which is hilarious. I mean, I'm like, because I always say the same thing. I'm like, guys, listen, blast away. I don't care. It's like not even indexed. So, and one of the things that I want to point out here real quick too is that if you use Dropbox or Copy or one of the similar ones, most of you are going to use kind of their plug-in, their downloadable thing like to your desktop, right? And I don't know if you guys know it, but that thing is a beast on your system resources. I mean, it can just be a beast. I have had to uninstall it from several machines because the system resources it took just killed me. So, that brings me to another point. I'm going to show you, so a couple of these things that we've already done, the chat, there's one, but I'm going to show you several more. Not only is it free, but guess what? You're not using a damn plugin, right? Now, do I hate plugins? No, I don't have anything against plugins, but I do not use a plugin unless it is absolutely necessary. Okay? I do not want to use a plugin unless it's absolutely necessary. So several of these things I'm going to show you tonight, there's free options for plugins, but this is even better because you don't have to worry about a plugin, and you don't have to worry about it slowing down your sites. You don't have to worry about it being incompatible with other things. You don't have to worry about updating it. Okay? So even if one of these things I show you does the exact same thing as a free plugin, this is still better. All right? So guys, give me a 1 if you get that. Give me 1 if you get what I just said. That even if something I show you does the exact same thing as a free plugin, it's still better. All right. So that is number 2. All right. So this is one of my favorites. All right. And so you know, I'm kind of starting off with kind of my favorite ones, although all these are valuable. One of the things that you're going to have to do at some point, and this may be more for your sites than your client sites, although it really depends, is, you know, once you get to a certain size business, you're going to have some type of ticket system or a help desk system. Okay, and so guys, you know, give me a 1 if you're familiar with like Zendesk, right? Matter of fact, give me a 2 if you use Zendesk. That's pretty much the number 1. I mean, yeah, a lot of you guys, yeah. I mean, it's you know, a lot of the help desks that I use Zendesk, and Zendesk is not super expensive. You know, it's by the seat, so it could be $30 a month, $40 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month, depends on what it is, right? Okay, so well, guess what? Guess what we have here? OS ticket system, and OS ticket system. Guess what? It does pretty much the exact same thing as Zendesk. Now I've gone ahead and logged in here, so you can see the background. Okay, this is the admin side. Okay, but I run my support desk for 3 of my online businesses directly through here, and I have for about 1.5 years now. And again, absolutely free. So you know, there's plugins that can do this. You could pay Zendesk. Actually, several people in OMG that are more high profile, I'm not going to name them, had no idea about this, and several of them changed over recently, actually, when I showed them this. And they're saving literally hundreds of dollars a month because, you know, it goes by, you know, how many seats you need. So, all right, so let me take a little pause here for a second. So right now, I've showed you how to get free live chat. I've showed you how to get a free help desk and a free, basically, Dropbox. So, you know
what,
guys,
Stephen? Not to interrupt you, but this is, guys, you have no idea how this stuff is even brought to you. Like last week, we gave you free stuff. You can rank your website. Now this week, Stephen's bringing you free stuff for support on your website to get stuff done. Now, guys, what I want you to do is, I said we weren't going to do hashtags. We have to do a hashtag mind blown. You need to go to the OMG way. We got about 300 people on. I want you to give a hashtag mind blown for Stephen. So everyone that decided that they were going to show up late because they thought we were doing Q&A, we've already went up about 40 people since then. You got fooled. So I want you to do hashtag mind blown because they missed the best part of the webinar. I don't even know if this is recording, Stephen. I don't even know.
You know,
I don't know if it's working right.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, what's funny about this too is, guys, you know, I'm showing you this stuff to use for you. That doesn't mean that you can't charge your clients for it.
That's right.
Right? That doesn't mean that you can't, and I do. I do charge my clients for OS tickets, and I charge them for the live chat. It's a monthly fee for both of them, and there's an installation / setup. And just between you and me, shh, don't tell anybody. It takes about 5 minutes to set up each of those.
Exactly.
But you know, it's not the time it takes me. It's what the value is to the client, right? And it's very valuable to them to have this set up and to have me, you know, configure it for them. So
one of the things that I want to get across to people is even knowing stuff like this. You might not need it now, but you don't know how valuable this information is when you get into a jam. When you do, you're like, oh, I remember that webinar. and I've got the notes from it. I remember we went over it. I've got all of this stuff in cPanel that I can use and I can charge people for. So much of the information that I learned from everyone that I'm around, I don't necessarily need it right now, but man, has it saved my butt 2 months from now. And that's what this webinar is going to be about. You can start using it yourself, or you're going to get an idea to pull your butt out of the fire, have an idea where you can even make more money or even add different things at for free. That's what's crazy is there's no better way than to get stuff for free and to upcharge and sell for it. It's always beautiful.
Yeah, and all this stuff, I mean, like I'm telling you guys, that chat can be really, really powerful, especially, again, on like e-com sites or things like that. You know, when someone is, I'll tell you, I'm co-owner, actually. I don't own any by myself. I'm a co-owner in several very successful e-commerce sites, and I can tell you from our personal experience that if someone browses to your site and you can engage them in a chat, your chances of converting them into a customer go up astronomically. It's a fact. It's not my opinion. And don't even just trust Steve Floyd. Go look it up. It is one of, if not the single highest single best thing you can do, correlation-wise, to increase your conversions. It's absolutely incredible. So let me close this. I'm trying to have like 50 windows open because I want this to, you know, not take too long. So I'm going to try to. All right. Well, how are we doing in there, Cotton? I'm not logged into the Facebook group. Are we looking pretty good on the hashtags?
Oh yeah, we're looking.
We just call
good.
it a day, move on.
Hey, we've
right.
like got 235, and this can be a light day. People can be lazy today if they want.
All right, guys. So listen, we're just gonna keep on rolling. Okay, this is one that I'm gonna go through a little bit. This one here, because I think that some of you may even be aware that this is here, but I don't think you're really aware of what it actually does and what you can do it. So one of the questions that I get all the time, not just in OMG, but in other groups that I participate in, has to do with analytics. People always want to know, you know, can I use Google Analytics? Is it safe? Do I use it on money sites? Do I use it on PBNs? You know, and all these various things. And what always ends up coming up, you know, is discussions about alternatives, and there are some great ones. You know, there's Clicky, there's Piwik. You know, there's several different ones that are very good. You know, Jetpack even has its own version of alternatives. You know, as far as plugins go, right? So, guys, give me a 1 if you know you're familiar with those plugins. If you're familiar with any of those, you know, alternatives to Google Analytics, right? And that we really don't want to put Google Analytics like on a PBN, like to measure traffic stuff. Okay. All right, so now those are, again, what I mentioned. Those are plugins, and they're all free. You know, basically, mostly. Although you know some of them have better features. You know, if you pay for it. So here we go. All right, so no plugins. We are going to look at AW Stats. AW Stats. So again, I'm going to show you where all this is. You know, before we're done, guys. This is straight up in cPanel. So, you know, this is my membership site, and I'm just going to click on View here, okay? And now at first you may think, well, wow, this is a whole lot of data. There's a whole lot of numbers here. And guess what? You're right. There is a whole lot of data and a whole lot of numbers here. And guess what data and numbers are here? Pretty much the same stuff you're going to find in analytics, okay? So I'm going to show you some things. I'm not going to go into this into detail, okay? But I want to show you a couple of things. So first of all, here is a breakdown of my year. Here's my number of unique visitors, my number of visitors overall. Here's how many pages they viewed. Here's the bandwidth that they used. Okay. Here is some individual. So this is the month of October. Okay. So here is, you know, some specific information for October. Obviously, today's only the 7th. So again, that data for the month, that data for the year so far. Here's the days of the week. Here's the actual hours. Here's the actual hours that people came. Here's where my traffic came from geographically. Okay? Here's the IP address. And let me tell you, this can be really useful in lots of different ways. But I'm not going to go into that. Okay? But having the actual IP addresses of who visited you actually can be very helpful. Hey, look, there's Googlebot. there's Alexa bot. All right, and I know when they visited, and I know how many times they visited. Again, this is very potentially very, very good information for you, especially if you're doing e-com. You really, really want to know, when Googlebot is visiting your site. Okay. Here's some good statistical information. Okay, about like time on site and bounce rate and things like that. Okay. Again, I'm not going to go through everything. All right. But one thing I do want to show you. Okay, is links from external pages. Well, looky here. So here's a bunch of links that actually have gotten clicks. Okay, and here's how many clicks they got. Okay. So that's pretty cool, right? And listen, this data is not coming from a third party. This data is coming directly from your hosting account, right? So, I'm looking here, and I can look here and see exactly where these people are coming from, okay? And now, I don't get searched a lot, okay? So, if I had another site to show you that I felt safe doing, I would. But if you were getting, and of course I don't SEO this. This is my member site, so there's no SEO on this site, right? But if this were a site that was getting referral traffic through keywords, you would see them in here. So very much like what you would see in Google Webmaster Tools or Analytics, depending on what part that you're in. Okay, so and all of this data is exportable. All of this data is permanent, and all of this data is here waiting for you, absolutely for free. Okay, and again, no plugin, no overhead, right? And frankly, the data that's in here is more detailed than those things that you pay for. I mean, look, I even know what operating system they were using. I know what browser they were using. I can look at files that were downloaded, right? Here's the top files that were downloaded. What? People were downloading my files? Yeah, they were. Right, which may be interesting to you if people aren't supposed to be downloading files, just as an example, right? Or if you have a bandwidth limitations, right? So again, what I want to show you without spending hours in here is that all of the data that you would typically be getting from these third-party sources is pretty much right in here, waiting for you, without verifying anything, without letting anybody know who you are or what you're doing. It's just sitting here. So if anybody needs analytics questions from now on, I hope that they see this webinar, because this is how I do my PBNs without doing analytics.
Guys, if this hasn't blown you away, give me a number 7 right now. I mean, this is sort of stuff that you really don't see taught anywhere. Not a lot of people talk about. Just, guys, we ought to be seeing 7s across the board. And be honest, because it's only us that can see it, how many of you actually had no idea that this stuff exists? Give me a 4 for no idea. Just no idea. This is all brand new to you. See, it's all 4s all the way across there.
Yep. Yeah, look at this. Referring sites, referring search engines. I mean, it's it's really crazy. It's really amazing. And the data in here is not filtered through anybody, and that's what I like, because this is not filtered through anyone. This is direct traffic. So as an example, let's say that someone bought my course and then they say that they never logged in or something, right? Which it's extremely rare, but it's happened once or twice, right? It's going to happen. Well, I just came in here, I searched for their IP address, and boom, I have a record, sent it over to PayPal. PayPal understands what this is. This isn't data I can manipulate, right? This is straight off of the hosting account. So PayPal said, well, yeah, you did log in. Here's, basically the proof. Here's basically the evidence, right? And so, again, this is something that you can do. This is something that you can access whenever you want. Again, it's absolutely free. It's simply a click away, and this doesn't have to be installed. This is just waiting for you. I'm going to show you some of these things that I've showed you. You install, and they take, I swear to you, maybe 3 minutes. Okay, maybe 3 minutes to install. But this is not one of them. This is just sitting in cPanel waiting for you. All right. So I'm going to just go on, I think, to the next thing. So let me go ahead again. I'm going to try to close some of these. I keep thinking my browser. All right. So I'm going to hit some of these kind of fast. Some of these are smaller things. but I still thought they were worth mentioning to you guys. And then we don't have a whole lot more, left. So, all right. So one of the things that I see happening in the group a lot lately, for some reason, is I see a lot of people asking questions about their sites getting hacked or getting malware or things like that. Guys, give me one if you've seen that too. If you've been in the group, any of these groups, you should have seen this. It seems like it's coming up a lot, and people are injecting links into people's sites, or they're just straight up hacking them, things like that. Okay. And so when that happens, of course, people want to know, what the heck do I do, right? Well, the first thing, there's lots of steps that you can take, but one of the best things that you can do is right here. Guys, can you see this on my screen? Give me a 1 if you can read what that is. All right, so I guess everybody pretty much can read it. This is a virus scanner for your server. So, this is a really good first step, guys, right? If you've got any kind of infection or attack or whatever, regardless of what it is, you can come in here. I'm not going to hit it because this is a deep, if you choose entire home directory or the public web space, depending on if you have a bunch of sites, either of these, it could take 4, 5, 6 hours to run this because it's deep. It's going to go deep, 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 deep. Okay, and yes, the one that's on the screen right now is Clam Antivirus, and there's a couple of other ones also. Again, depending on the cPanel that you have. And what you guys need to understand, and you may not understand this. I'm going to say it, and some of you still may not understand it. And if you don't feel bad. But cPanel is a third-party company, just like WordPress is. So, when you log into cPanel, you're really, cPanel is kind of a universal thing, okay? But there's different flavors of it. So, when HostGator says, hey, we want to offer cPanel, we want to have all this extra goodies for our members, they negotiate with cPanel and they say, okay, well, we want this, but we don't want that. Or we want this, but we want it that way, okay? So a lot of companies have customized cPanels, okay? But like I said, about 90% of what I show you, you should have, because most people are lazy and they just simply do, whatever the default cPanel is, okay? But what I'm saying is, so it doesn't matter what host you have, almost all of them have this. The exceptions are going to be really kind of specific types of hosting, like, for instance, WP Engine is a very popular WordPress hosting company. They do not have cPanel. They do not have email. They don't have a lot of stuff. They are really a basic thing, but that's one of the reasons, why they're successful, because they focus just on WordPress and what WordPress needs. So it doesn't have a lot of stuff. All right. But again, the great thing about this is, the other way to do this is to basically download your entire site and scan it offline. That's what most people would probably do. Actually, what most people would do? They would pay the extra $20 or $30 or $40 to GoDaddy or HostGator or whoever it is for their freaking site scan or whatever it's called. Give me a 2 if you're doing that now, or if you've ever done that. Give me a 2 if you're paying for the extra virus scan or whatever features on your hosting. And remember, I'm the only one that can, or only the coaches can see you. And I suspect, I only see a few there, but I suspect it's many more of you. You may not even know that you're paying for it. But a lot of hosts will charge you extra just simply for this thing, which you basically already have for free. But you have to know about it, right? So, guys, if your site got hit today and you didn't know about this, and you went to your host and they said, well, we offer a virus scanning, option for $30 a month, you probably would say yes, right? You probably would. So, again, some of these things I'm showing you are going to make you money, and some of these things are going to save you money, and some of them may even do both. All right? Let me go. Let's see here. All right, so I'm going to close that out. All right, so we're going to go through some pretty quick stuff here, all right? And I'm going to try to be brief. All right, so one of the things I want to show you is hot link protection, okay? And a lot of you probably have no idea what that is, so I'm going to explain it to you really, really quickly. It's something that if it happens to you, you're going to need it. If it doesn't, you won't. But what a lot of people will do is basically they will, let's say that you have a nice image on your website, okay, and they want to share it on their website. Well, what they do is basically called hot linking, and that means that the image is going to be, they're going to basically steal the bandwidth from your site to show it on their site. And I'm not sure again if there's an easier way to say that, but instead of hosting the image on their site, they're just going to steal it from yours. Basically, is what they're going to do in real time. So what can happen is, and this is actually a negative SEO thing, and again, I know we are not going to talk a whole lot about that, but this is actually a technique that people will use to take down sites. They will hot link to a lot of frequently used resources and then hit those. And then what happens is your site gets overwhelmed with requests for bandwidth, and it basically shuts your site down. So again, might be a little bit more advanced than some of you, really are understanding at this point, but I just wanted to show it to you. It's very easy to hit enable. I'm actually using this on I have a different system that's protecting this site from this. That's why this is not enabled, but this is enabled on almost every site that I have. Okay, and all you have to do is hit this enable button, and you're good. And down here, you have the extension types. Okay, but I'm telling you, especially, when you're going to see this is when you have an e-commerce site or when you have your My City SEO site or some of these higher value affiliate sites, because some of these people are sneaky and they know this kind of stuff. You're almost never going to see this like on like a Frisco Roofing, right? These local businesses, you'll probably never see a hot link problem. But if you have an e-commerce site, you need to make sure that you have this under control, and your high profile sites like your SEO sites or any high profile affiliate sites, you definitely want to make sure that you have this under control, whether you use this feature or not. Okay, and so again, I don't know if that made sense to everybody, but this is can be a real issue for your site, and this is a real easy way to stop it by clicking a button. Okay, so
just like I said, it's amazing information you might not need to know now, but they will be thanking you whenever they need to know it.
Yeah. Hey, Derek or Mike, have you ever seen anybody get hit with this?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean,
I've been hit with it many times in some of the larger spaces.
Yeah. I mean, it can absolutely. It can absolutely cripple a site, and it can be one of those things where someone without your skill level, Mike, would be completely have no idea what's going on. Just completely like, I don't know what's happening here. And so again,
it's hard to tell when it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so a couple more things. We're wrapping up, guys. I told you this one was going to be quick. So did Cotton. Couple of real quick things. So again, inside of cPanel, we have an index manager here. Okay, and this controls. This is another way to control indexing on your site, but controlling it directly from your hosting account instead of controlling it through a plugin or through code on the page. Okay, and there's reasons why you would. This is going to be preferential sometimes. Okay. And so again, I'm gonna blast through some of these. Okay, index manager, image tools. Okay, and remember, all these things in cPanel have to do with your entire site. Okay, so if you have 100 sites on there, you can manage them through cPanel unless they have individual ones. For each of these. So in here, you can, for instance, I'm not going to do it now, but you can convert images on your site right from here. Okay, you can resize them right from here. And especially if you're doing some bulk things, again, e-commerce, things like that, this could really be a lifesaver for you. All right, so again, I'm going to blast through. All right, guys, so how many of you, let me see, let me go back over to here real quick. Okay, how many of you have tools to back up your sites? How many of you use plugins? Give me a 1 if you use plugins. Give me a 2 if you use programs, cloning programs like WP Dupize or WP Twin, that kind of stuff. Okay, all right, and those are awesome, and those all the better ones cost money. I would like to introduce you to Xcloner Manager. Okay, and again, I'm not going to go into this into great detail, but basically, once again, this is a free cloning software with a restore feature in cPanel. So stop asking me about WP Twin and Dupizer and all those other cloning programs. Okay, just come in here and do it. Okay, And again, I'm going to show you where all this stuff is. All right, but all of this stuff is free. It's easy to use, and this stuff is tested. I'm not showing you anything that came out yesterday. Okay, all the stuff that I'm showing you is stuff that has usually thousands of users have reviewed it, and that's just the people that actually did the reviews. Okay, but this is literally a point and click backup and restore, meaning like if you want, a lot of you wanted to know how to move your site from this host to that host or whatever. Here you go. Stop messing with all the stupid plugins. Okay. Let me go to, so I don't know how much money I've saved you right now if you end up using this stuff, but it should be a pretty good amount just to this part. Okay, again, a couple of quick ones. Guys, if you don't know what a CRM is or you're not using one, it's a customer relations management system. Basically, it's the way that you keep track of all your clients. There are about a dozen of them that are in cPanel that are free. My personal favorite is Sugar, and it's actually kind of the the one that most people use that I know of. As far as like if they're not going to pay for an expensive one like Salesforce.com, or similar. Okay, so there's also, and I'm not going to show it to you, but there's also an inventory. Not inventory, an invoicing system inside of cPanel too. I'm not going to go into that, but if you look for it, it's easy to find. There's also an invoicing system in there too that's completely free.
You can even
but
order.
This is your CRM.
You know that?
Okay.
Did
What's
you know
that?
I said, as many things as you're showing them, next is going to be how to order Domino's from the cPanel.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, guys, I don't know if you've used, none of you probably haven't, but Sugar is an open source customer relations manager. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. It does what you would pay thousands of dollars for in a subscription service, and I mean thousands, if you were to use this with even 5 or 6 seats. Okay, so and I'll tell you how you're going to use this. You're going to log into this, and every time that you have a customer, you add them to this database, right? That's what a CRM is. It allows you to manage your contacts with your customers. Okay, there's lots of things that'll do it. Again, there's plugins, there's softwares you can pay for, or you can do it for free in here with this super powerful one. It's one of my favorite things. I love Sugar. And there's lots of development people too that will, for very cheap, will customize these for you and all kinds of stuff. All right, we're coming to the end. Let's see. All right, so I think we're almost at the end here. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to go to is I'm going to just go, a lot of these things that you will install, let me go back to the main panel. So I'm going to highlight a couple of these things really, really fast for you guys. So everybody here should know about, the email accounts in here and the fact that there's autoresponders that are included, okay? And everybody should know about that. Everybody should know about that there's normally a couple of different backup types. And R1 right here is basically, it's equivalent. It's not a clone, so I wouldn't use this to move a site. But, this is something where if you have an issue with your site and you need to restore a backup, you can hit a button and this will do it. Okay? So very good. Now, the AW stats I showed you is right here in logs. Okay? There's also Webalizer. There's other things you can look at. The hot link protection is right here. Okay? And let me go down. The image manager and the index manager and the virus scanner, these are all in here. Okay? Everything else that I've shown you in this cPanel is in Softaculous right here, which it also may be Fantastico. Okay? That's another common thing. It would be called Fantastico. All right? And so when you click on this little Softaculous, you're going to get to a window like this. Okay? And again, I'm going to show you a couple things really fast. All right, so one of the things that I like to do with my PBNs is I like to spread out my content management systems. I don't like to use just WordPress. And so one of the things that cPanel makes very easy for you is to set up all of these various, you've got Joomla, you've got Drupal, okay, just to name a few. You've got several of these that are basically just as easy to set up, okay, as WordPress is, okay? They're all in here. All you do is hit setup. But one of the things that I really, really like is here is my wiki, okay? And my wiki is, guys, give me a 1 if you use wikis or you've seen wikis. There's all kinds of, wiki softwares and blasters and all that kind of stuff, right? Well, all you have to do to have your own wiki is go over here to wikis and choose one and hit install. And guess what? Now you've got your own wiki, okay? So this is a great way to you know, to give a little bit of diversity to your content management systems. They're extremely easy to use, okay? And also when you're restoring sites, you know, if you had an informational type site, or actually if it actually was a wiki, put it back as a damn wiki, right? Don't put it back as a WordPress site. If you had a site that was already a wiki, or it was an information type site, directory type site that would fit, then put it back as a wiki, okay? So again, there's a bunch of these different types of things in here, and they're so easy to set up. Let me show you a couple more really fast. Okay, hold on one second. Polls and surveys, okay? A lot of you may use SurveyMonkey, or I can't remember what the other one is. And again, those are subscription services that can cost, you know, hundreds of dollars a month, you know, There's several in here that are absolutely free, okay? And polls and surveys are something that you're going to be doing for a lot of your clients, depending on what niche they're in, okay? So again, rather than paying for it, you can do it directly through here, okay? Project management, okay? I know a lot of you guys know Basecamp, right? And some similar ones. Well, again, guess what? They've got what? It looks like about a dozen in here, okay? Again, these are all basically the same features and everything. Again, these are completely free. So, you know, Basecamp, you know, once you get to a certain number of users or whatever, they're going to start charging you, right? So, or I can't remember how they charge. But either way, if you want, you've got a free one in here, okay? E-commerce, you've got all your shopping carts in here, right? All the shopping carts. Now, this is one of the things I was going to show you really quick. Okay, this is simple invoices, okay? This is just a super basic invoicing system, but again, you know, you can use this for free, right? And you can customize this with your brand and all that kind of stuff, okay? So again, a lot of this stuff is just stuff that, you know, you can get other places. And so last thing, what I want to close with, hold on, let me see. Let me go, hold on, is, all right, so a couple of things just really quick in here. Inside of others, so we had the cloner that I showed you earlier, okay? You've got Infinite WP, which you guys should be familiar with that, or a lot of you, which is a free system to manage your websites and your WordPress sites in, okay? You've got a QR code generator, okay? And guys, if you aren't using QR codes with your client stuff, you probably should be. And instead of buying them or paying for them for third parties, guess what? Here you go. Here you go for free, okay? So don't need to pay anybody for that. Let me go back down here, and let me just do a couple more real quick. Let's see. We've got privacy policy generator. That should be pretty easy to figure out what that is, okay? And the good thing about this is since it's so generic and so many people are using this, then you don't have to worry about any kind of duplicate content or any kind of that crap, right? You don't have to worry about you getting hit because other websites have it, right? This is a plug-and-play privacy policy generator for your sites. Again, not mind-blowing, but it's free, and it's easy to use, and it's quick. And I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting something. Every time I do one of these quick, I almost always forget something. Hold on, let me go to file management real quick. Okay, yeah, that's where the OwnCloud was here. And then last thing I want to close with for sure, you know, if you're hosting certain types of sites, there's a URL shortener in here somewhere, guys, and I don't see it, but I know it's in here. Somewhere in here is a URL shortener that you can host for free from your own website. But if you're talking about specific types of sites, okay, like that you want to recover, I want to show you a couple things. So like here's video, okay? Think of these as like a WordPress theme that shows videos on it, okay? But these are CMSs that are for this. They're built for it, okay? So like if you're going to make a movie site or a video sharing site, you can use these, right? As opposed to like WordPress. That's what these are designed for, okay? There's also image ones. And the image ones, oh yeah, they're up here. So like if you want an image site or a gallery site, okay? So like, let me show you gallery real quick. And let me do, hold on, let me do the demo. All right, let me show you, oh wait, I think the demo is just gonna, yeah, sorry, hold on. Let me see if there's a good screenshot. No, it doesn't look like there's going to be a good screenshot. Basically, what it's going to do, it makes it very easy. Think of it like an image theme for WordPress, but it's free and it's much easier to use, and it's much lighter weight. So you could host a whole lot of images on here, and very very lightweight. Okay. Forums. Oh, that was one of the other things I wanted to show you. If you need forums for your sites, or if you want to host a forum for whatever or for your clients, again, all the top ones are here. PHP BB is, I'm pretty sure, the most popular one. That's one I love that one. I use that on a couple of my sites. Again, it's a full version forum, completely for free. Okay.
I actually host, Stephen, just to add some context to that. I have a 500,000 member site built right off of this SMF for free.
Wow. And man, I tell you what. And I mean, that would be if you paid for one of the forum like plugins or whatever. Man, that'd be expensive. 500,000 users. Holy crap.
Licensings are very expensive for those.
Yeah, you'd be paying big bucks. All right, so then the last thing, guys. This is the last thing, and I've said that a couple times, but I'm definitely going to close with this. Okay, so in this last one, we've got ads management. So again, if you're wanting to host a certain, like if you want to have your own ad site. Okay, think of it like a Craigslist type thing. Okay, then these are right in here. Okay, and hopefully I shouldn't have to tell you guys like why you would maybe want to do something like that. Okay, but if you want to have like your site almost like like a Craigslist or a local, even like a directory type thing, again for free. Okay, so again, a lot of these that I've showed you at the end here were more ways to diversify your footprint online, ways to do them very easily. But some of the stuff, again, more toward the beginning, you can save yourself thousands of dollars and or make yourself thousands of dollars by doing these things for your clients, setting them up. And the thing I really like about this is that it's all tied to the hosting. And so, there's not 18 different logins and 50 different, services and all that kind of stuff, right? It's all right there. It's all easy. It's all easy to access. If you forget any of your logins or any of that stuff, it's very easy to go back in and reset it, or whatever. So that, Cotton, I think that's going to do it.
Guys,
I think that's
yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks, Stephen. What I want you to do is, if this hasn't been the most action-packed hour that you haven't been on a webinar in a long time, give me hashtag Power Hour. Power Hour over there, because, guys, we're done. That's it. There's nothing more, guys, but what we wanted to do is something short, sweet, packet tight, with very, very useful information. This is a Power Hour. Very few times do we ever get an assimilation just run about an hour and 15 minutes. And for those of you that thought you were going to come on and get the lesson, don't ever assume with me, because once I see you do something, I'll flip it around. So, or don't ever go to another webinar once you see that I posted one up on the main Facebook group. You'll pay for it. I promise you. I promise you that I'll start pulling out nuclear bombs to show you never to go to any webinar that day unless it's an assimilation scheduled on a Wednesday. Just cancel all webinars on Wednesday. That's my advice to you.
Absolutely.
So with that, guys, I want you to thank Stephen, thank Mike and Derek for coming on. And guys, next week, we're going to have Mike and Derek throwing down.
Yeah.
They're going to be throwing down, getting ready for OMG Live 2. So it's going to be good stuff. What I'll do is I'll leave the guys with some final words, and we will call it a night. Mike, any last words?
I just thought it was a great Webby. That's a time machine. It should take time and pain to learn that kind of stuff, but he just kind of dropped bombs right there.
Yeah. Good, great stuff. Stephen, any last words, buddy?
Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure, but I don't think I've been, maybe I have, on a webinar since we announced the part 2, or since really announced the greatness that's going to be OMG Live part 2. Mm-hmm. So, that's what I want to close with. Guys, if you miss this, if you miss part 2, if you miss Mike and Derek, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it, because people are going to be talking about stuff on accident. They're not supposed to. but you're going to be in the OMG group, and someone's going to say some phrase or something. You're going to go, I don't know what that is. What is that? It's going to get deleted, right? Because an admin's going to catch it. But you're going to be like, what was that? And you'll ask your buddy, and he'll be like, oh, yeah, that was from part 2, man. We can't talk about that.
Sure.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you missed it. And I'm telling you, these NDAs, this is no joke. This is the real deal, guys. So, if you have to beg, borrow, steal, scratch, whatever you got to do to be at part 2, be there. That's all I got to say, man. I wouldn't miss that for the world. It would take an act of God to keep me away from part 2. It's going to be awesome. The presenters are just the top of the game, the absolute top of the game. I'm so excited, and I hope to see all you guys there.
Great. Derek, final words, my friend.
Yeah, I think Steven said it all, so I'm good. I'll see you guys later.
Great. Guys, we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful evening.